Have you ever wondered if we could turn back the clock on aging? Not just slowing it down, but actually reversing it? For centuries, this idea was pure science fiction, the stuff of myths and legends. But today, we're standing on the brink of a revolution, a time when science is making that fiction a reality. Welcome to the incredible world of cellular reprogramming, where scientists are learning to tell our cells to become young again. This journey starts in 2006 with a Japanese scientist named Shinya Yamanaka. He made a discovery so profound it would win him a Nobel Prize and change biology forever. Yamanaka was trying to figure out how to turn an ordinary adult cell, like a skin cell, back into a stem cell. Stem cells are amazing. They're like cellular blank slates that can become any type of cell in the body. The ones we have in embryos are called pluripotent stem cells, meaning they have this magical ability. Yamanaka wondered if he could recreate this state without using embryos. He hypothesized that a few key genes, when activated in an adult cell, could rewind its developmental clock. After testing dozens of combinations, he found the magic recipe just for specific genes. When he introduced these for genes into adult mouse skin cells, something incredible happened. The cells transformed. They de-aged, reverting back to their embryonic, pluripotent state. He named these for genes the Yamanaka factors. This was a bombshell. It proved that the aging process at a cellular level wasn't a one-way street. The biological information to be young wasn't lost. It was just dormant, waiting to be reawakened. Think of a cell's DNA as a vast library of books. As the cell ages, some books get closed and their information becomes inaccessible. The Yamanaka factors act like a master librarian, reopening those books and restoring the cell's youthful potential. The initial discovery, creating what are called induced pluripotent stem cells or iPSCs, was groundbreaking, but it came with a huge risk for anti-aging therapies. Fully reprogramming a cell back to a stem cell erases its identity. A heart cell forgets it's a heart cell. A neuron forgets it's a neuron. If you did this inside a living animal, it could lead to chaos, including the formation of tumors called teratomas, which are masses of different cell types. For anti-aging, we don't want to erase our cells, we want to rejuvenate them. We want a 50-year-old liver cell to become a 25-year-old liver cell, not a blob of undefined stem cells. This led to the next big idea, partial reprogramming. What if you could apply the Yamanaka factors just for a short time, just long enough to reset the cell's age clock without completely erasing its identity? It's like restoring a computer to an earlier save point instead of wiping the hard drive completely. In 2016, researchers at the Salk Institute, led by Juan Carlos Espínola Belmonte, decided to test this. They used genetically engineered mice that had a shortened lifespan and showed premature signs of aging. They designed a system where they could turn the Yamanaka factors on and off. Instead of leaving them on continuously, they pulsed them on for 2 days, off for 5, on for 2, off for 5, and so on. The results were astonishing. The treated mice lived 30% longer than the untreated ones. They looked younger, their organ function improved, their skin healed faster, and they had better cardiovascular health. Crucially, they didn't develop tumors. The cells were rejuvenated but kept their original identity. This was the first proof that partial reprogramming can safely extend lifespan and reverse signs of aging in a living mammal. This breakthrough opened the floodgates. Scientists around the world began exploring partial reprogramming. Further studies showed it could restore vision in old mice with damaged optic nerves, rejuvenate muscle tissue, and improve cognitive function. The evidence was piling up. This wasn't just a biological curiosity. It was a potential therapeutic strategy. But how does it work? What are the Yamanaka factors actually doing? They are essentially resetting something called the epigenome. The epigenome is a layer of chemical tags and switches on top of our DNA. While your DNA sequence doesn't change as you age, your epigenome does. These epigenetic marks control which genes are turned on or off. Over time, this system gets messy. Some pro-youth genes get silenced, while some pro-aging genes get activated. It's like a well-organized orchestra slowly descending into cacophony. Partial reprogramming seems to wipe away these age-related epigenetic changes, returning the pattern of gene expression to a more youthful state. It restores the harmony of the orchestra, allowing cells to function as they did when they were younger. Of course, the big question is, can this work in humans? Mice are not people. The genetic engineering used in the initial mouse studies isn't practical or safe for human use. We need a way to deliver these rejuvenation factors to our cells without permanently altering our DNA. This is where the next wave of innovation comes in. Companies are now developing new delivery methods like using mRNA technology, the same tech behind some COVID-19 vaccines. The idea is to deliver temporary mRNA instructions for the Yamanaka factors. The cells would produce the rejuvenating proteins for a short time, get the anti-aging benefits, and then the mRNA would naturally degrade and disappear, leaving no permanent changes. It's a much safer and more controllable approach. And now, we are at the most exciting part of the story. We're moving from animal studies to human trials. In 2023, a biotech company called Rejuvenate Bio announced the first ever human trial for partial reprogramming. They aren't trying to make people live to 150 just yet. The initial focus is on specific age-related diseases. The first trial is aimed at treating a rare genetic liver condition, but the long-term vision is much broader. Another company, Altos Labs, which launched with billions in funding and a dream team of scientists, including Shinya Yamanaka himself, is also working furiously to translate this science into human therapies. Their goal is nothing less than cellular rejuvenation on a massive scale. This is a pivotal moment in human history. The science is telling us that aging may not be the inevitable, irreversible process we've always thought it was. Instead, it might be a programmable, and therefore reprogrammable, feature of life. Now, we need to be realistic. This isn't a fountain of youth you can drink from tomorrow. There are still immense challenges. We need to perfect the dosage, timing, and delivery methods to ensure it's safe and effective for humans. We need to understand the long-term consequences. The first human applications will likely target specific diseases of aging, like osteoarthritis, macular degeneration, or heart failure, before we ever see a systemic anti-aging treatment. But the pace of progress is breathtaking. Just decades ago, this was pure theory. Today, we are testing it in people. The potential impact is hard to overstate. Imagine a future where we don't just treat the symptoms of aging, but reverse the underlying cause at the cellular level. A future where a 70-year-old can have the cellular health of a 40-year-old. This could mean more years of healthy, active life, free from the chronic diseases that currently plague our later years. The journey from Yamanaka's discovery to the first human trials is a testament to the power of scientific curiosity and persistence. We are living in the early days of a new era of medicine, one where we might finally be able to edit our own aging process. The story is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning, and it promises to be one of the most exciting stories ever told. Thanks for watching. If you're as fascinated by the future of health and science as I am, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.